What's up, Phillies fans? Welcome into the Fighting's Final. I'm Big Al. Welcome in. It is nice to talk about a win. It is nice to talk about a walk-off win. And it's great to see from our young guys, the Daycare, as they call them, put on an amazing show because the top of the lineup outside of Bryce Harper was a no-show tonight, at least offensively. We'll talk about that as we go along here. But welcome into the Fighting's Final. Thanks to my guys over at the Attacking Third, doing an amazing job covering Union Soccer. Phillies game is over. Phillies win tonight, of course, 4-3 in the ninth inning, scoring 2 runs, bringing the heat on the Orioles, giving them a chance to win the series against the best team in baseball right now. And it's exciting. It's exciting to talk about. I'm just you can hear to my voice. You can tell. I love talking baseball. I love talking Phillies baseball. I love winning baseball. You saw it at the end when they took that camera shot and they're looking right as the guys are jumping over the fence, coming out of the dugout to go greet their team after a walk-off shot from Alec Boehm. Just playing some smart baseball, heads-up baseball. You saw the crowd was in it. It was almost playoff-esque atmosphere with everybody cheering and screaming and yelling. It's great. It's good stuff. We're gonna break it all down for you. We're gonna get into it with you guys tonight. We're gonna talk about. But guys, reminder: this show is brought to you by Sherry'sTickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. It doesn't matter if you need sports tickets, concert tickets, theater tickets. It doesn't matter where you're at. Just go online at Sherry'sTickets.com. No hidden fees, amazing prices, and save yourself an additional 10% off by using that great promo code EOP10. That's right, 10% off the already amazing prices. Better than anywhere else you're going to find online. No hidden fees. Sherry'sTickets.com. Check it out. Tell them EOP sent you. And use that promo code often. I know I do. I know everybody here at EOP does. But like I said, for those who are just joining us, if you didn't see it tonight, walk-off style win for the Phillies over the Orioles. Series is 1-1 right now, giving them a chance tomorrow to take it and win the whole thing, or win the series. A well-needed series win. We've been losing series to subpar teams. Orioles are one of the best teams, if not the best team in baseball right now. So it is good to be able to do this. Hopefully they can continue it. I mean, last night was a close game. It's just these games get a little lethargic. These teams, it almost feels like this Phillies team isn't always into it. Maybe when you're in a slump, you're struggling. It's hard to get out of it. It's difficult. It is. Walt's here. Walt, my man, first guy to chime in. Always love you, Walt. Everybody, hopefully chime in. I will talk to you guys. Losing tie, win. Yeah, stomach turn. Yeah, very much so. Stomach turner. We're going to talk about a little bit about stomach turner and trade turner in a moment. That's one of my topics on tonight. But yeah, it's been like that. Last night was like that, except it was losing tie. That was it. But tonight they get the W. Big time. A lot of action on the offense from Bryson Stott down. And of course, the only person above that is Bryce Harper. Offensively, Schwarber, Turner, and Castellanos and Romuto, for the most part, have been struggling. And it continues. And if anybody watched the post game, they're asking, like, with all the offensive production you're seeing from the bottom of the lineup, is there any chance you're going to move Stott or somebody up further in the lineup? Especially with Schwarber, they would move him out of the leadoff. And Rob Thompson says nope. As of right now, it's a no. It's not happening. I'm not making any changes. And when we're winning, he's in the leadoff. Well, when they're losing, he's in the leadoff. So we'll have to keep track of those numbers to see how right he is. But he will not budge at this point. Jeff joining us again. Jeff's always good to hear from you. Walker buckled down and got through it. That is the other story of the game. So let's just jump in since Jeff brought us there. Taijuan Walker took the mound tonight, went 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. It would look like to be a pretty scary moment. I think I would say, yeah, pretty scary moment. The bases are loaded for the Orioles. There's no outs. And they already scored 1 run, and you're like, all right, here we go. Austin Hayes scores that run one, and then they load up the bases. Then Walker gets a strikeout. Okay, double plays in here. So maybe at the worst, they give up 1 on the run. They can limit the damage to 2 runs. A pop-up, infield pop-up. or actually a little outfield, but very, very, very close on the borderline of the infield outfield there. Kept the man at third base, couldn't move, and then boom, got another out. Kept us scoring to the one hit, left the bases loaded, and Taiwan Walker just barreled through the rest of the game and just kept everything in check. It did a great job. Really did a good job. Next score. Let's go through the scoring as of right now. Like I said, that 1-0 in the second and top of the third. Adam Frazier doubles, and um, I'm sorry. Yeah, Adam Frazier doubles and Mountcastle scores. I keep getting their names backwards. Mountcastle scores, making it 2-0. Bottom of the third, young guy, another guy on my list I want to talk about. I'm really starting to fall in love with here. Johan Rojas singles line drive. He just seems he's ready for the game. You know, there's certain guys that just don't fear the moment. Don't fear the moment. That and Johan Rojas so far has showed that from his first big defensive play. He's not going a week in between without playing, and he's producing after sitting for a week. So, and then when he comes up to plate, doesn't matter if it's the first inning or the ninth inning, 2 outs, and they're a run down, and the tying run is on third base. He's up there, and he is poised, and he looks really good doing it. But Johan Rojas puts the Phillies on the board, becomes 2-1. Bottom of the sixth, Bryce Harper with a home run, a big hit from Bryce Harper tonight. Back out to center field, 2-2 score tied up. And kind of like Walter alluded to, tie was broken. Top of the eighth, Ryan O'Hearn homers off of Matt Strahm, making it 3-2. Bottom of the eighth, I'm sorry, bottom of the ninth. This is how it all went down. 1 out. Bryce Harper's up, hits a single, gets himself on base. Awesome. Okay, little life in him. Nick Cassiano strikes out swinging. We're down to our last out. Here comes Bryson Stott. Bryce Harper's on first. Bryson Stott hits a line drive to right fielder. And talk about a hustle. Jessica, here she is again, always chiming in. Great stuff. Bryce Harper can run. He did run. He trucked around those bases, scored from first, and got this game all knotted up at 3 with 2 outs. And Bryson Stott. JT Realmuto comes, singles, moves him and Bryson Stott up to first and third on the corners. He steals, more of a defensive. They just didn't care. Just like let it go. He's not important. The only guy who's important is the third baseman right now. There are already 2 outs. If they throw that ball to second, they make a mistake and it goes through somebody's legs or something, Stott scores easily, game over. So it's a defensive indifference. They let it go. Here comes Alec Boehm. Like I said, the young guys came up big tonight. He singles a ball between third base and shortstop. Third baseman looked like he tripped a little bit, but whatever. He singled through there. Stott scores easily. Walk-off style run. And here we are celebrating a great Phillies victory. You know how one day from another, like I did 2 shows in a row. This is probably why it's hard to do it, because I don't know if my blood pressure can handle this all the time, being miserable and sad and upset with falling on our face one night, and the next night, huge Phillies victory against one of the best teams in baseball, and some divisional standings and wild card standing differences too, which we're going to get into a moment. So that is how the scoring went down. That is how the Phillies took their victory 4-3 against the Baltimore Orioles in splitting the series at 1, bringing the tiebreaker, the rubber match, whatever you want to call it, tomorrow to Citizens Bank Park. So reminder, guys, that this, of course, is brought to you by PhillySportsTrips.com. If you travel and you want to, I like traveling. Everybody likes traveling. I really do like traveling. But when I travel, I like to take in other cities and what they do. But going with your fellow Phillies fans or Eagles fans or any Philadelphia sports fans, why not go to PhillySportsTrips.com? Here's the big one. You can put your money down for now. You get your deposit in with the big London trip in 2024 in June 6th to the 12th. London's amazing, and it's more affordable than you think it's going to be. The Phillies will be taking on the Mets in London. Wow. Get to it. If you want something a little sooner, you're like, I don't want to wait till 2024, Al. Well, you can go out to San Diego right now, and I'm talking to Vince over at PhillySportsTrips.com. He's telling me this stuff is selling out. They already sold out the Pittsburgh trip that's coming this week weeks ago. So you're running out of time. You're running out of time. Sign up for it. And like I keep telling people, hey, July 25th, Merry Christmas in July. Well, Christmas is coming up. They have all the away games set, different pricings, different price values from different budgets. Check it out, PhillySportsTrips.com. It's an amazing trip. It is not just a ticket and transportation in a hotel. It is a party. They put on some amazing moments. I've had some of my best moments with PhillySportsTrips.com. I'm not just saying that because they're a sponsor. I'm telling you, I used them before they became a sponsor. It just worked out that they're a sponsor, but they are amazing. Check it out. PhillySportsTrips.com. So, let's go back to Taijuan Walker for a second because I kind of jump back and forth here. So, like I said, 5 2/3 inning, 6 hits, 4 runs, or 2 runs, 2 earned runs. I mean, that's it. I mean, he had bases loaded at one point, and he only let up 6 hits and only 2 runs out of that whole time. You know, it looked like one of those games that might have got away from us because there's the difference right there. If he doesn't buckle down, even with, and I talked about it earlier, Nick Castellanos, amazing defensive play. I mean, snow cone catch that also was could have been a difference of the score right there. If you didn't see it, check it out. I'm sure it's on Twitter. I mean, if he was a hair shorter or his arm was an inch shorter, he is not catching that. I mean, it was by just the edge of his glove. It was amazing. But if the key factor here is Taijuan Walker does not buckle down and save that moment, that time in the first or second inning, this is a different game. This is a completely different game. They're probably just limping around. Somebody poo-pooed in their Cheerios at that moment, but it was Walker. He set the tone like, I'm grinding this one out. I'm not out of this. You guys aren't out of this. And it showed to the end. Let's go back to another comments over here. Here you go. My boy Steve. I love Steve. Always got good stuff here. Dear Trey, get it together, brother. Get it together. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. That is a story, and I've been defending him for a while, and it's really hard to defend him still. I mean, I'm not allowed to get rid of him, trade him, or anything, but the boo birds were flying for him. So it's interesting. We'll talk about that in a moment. Steve Cassie has done just enough to no longer be a liability in the field. I mean, let's talk about that for a second. Everybody chime in on this. I want everybody's input on this. All I've heard about how Nick Castellanos, and I think the same thing with Bryce Harper too. He's a defensive liability. He has not been a defensive liability. If anything, he's been more. I don't even want to use adequate. He's been more than adequate in right field, playing every day. He's hustling and is he the most athletic of or fastest right fielder? Like, could we put somebody out in right field who would be maybe defensively better? Probably, but he's not a liability. And I don't feel like he's been a liability since the last postseason. He's made some amazing catches since the postseason and since 2022 and on. He's made some amazing catches, game-saving catches. I can only think of one time this year where he mistimed an ability to snag a home run ball out of, but other than that, he has not. I really can't remember any game that fell apart because of Nick Castellanos was in right field and he's a liability. Kyle Schwarber, yeah, we can make that conversation. Don't get me wrong. We saw it last night, and it's nothing on Kyle, but he's just not that athletic guy. If that was Brandon Marsh in the field or Johan Rojas or somebody with some speed, maybe they catch that ball. Probably catch that ball, most likely. At least have a much higher chance. Nick Castellanos, in my eyes, is not a defensive liability. He is far from that. He is more than adequate as a right fielder and was not expecting to be that much. That's why when they brought him in, they did not expect him to play as much right field as he is. And since Bryce Harper's been down, and we'll talk about him playing first base again, still looking really good out there like he's been doing it his whole life. But that's generational talent. That's Bryce Harper. No, he's no longer, not even close to a liability. He still doesn't cover enough ground, but he's nailing it when he can get to it. Yeah, like I said, he's not the fastest guy. He's not a speedy guy. He's not, like I said, he's not Brandon Marsh out there in center field running around. But or even Jake Cave or somebody out there, or Johan Rojas, somebody who can really get around. But he's doing more than just not. He's doing more than just covering ground. I mean, he's hustled in some plays that were the difference between a win and a loss. So, I mean, I think he's a little bit underrated as what his defense has been, especially this year. So, Walter's chiming in. I watched that Schwarber miss a couple times today. I think Rojas or Pache would get the ball. Well, first part, Pache couldn't play; he had surgery. But yeah, if he was healthy, yeah, I think Rojas and Pache will do it as long as they didn't take a bad beat to the ball. But yeah, I mean, Kyle just missed it. It hit off the end of his glove. So yeah, any one of those guys with a half an ounce of speed more than him would have got that ball. Yeah, you're right, absolutely. But that's Kyle Schwarber. That's when he was supposed to be DHing. We will always forget that. That DH spot has been clogged up for a while. He's supposed to be DHing, and that's where we're at. Let's see. Zach's chiming in here. Zach, I don't know why you talking trash about him. I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about. Is that Castellanos? I'm not talking trash about anybody last time I checked. Gary's chiming in. Gary, welcome back tonight. Why do we wait until the bottom of the ninth to do anything? That is the $1 million question. It just the game was painful to watch for the most part, Gary, to be honest with you. It was a pitcher's duel for the most part. Former Philly who got his ring today, Kyle Gibson, was on the other mound tonight. And we're going to talk about him in a moment. But this is just their MO right now. They're not putting up crooked numbers in many innings. They're keeping it limping along and then limping in just enough. And that's why they're losing games close like this, because they're limping. They're playing from behind way too much, and you can't survive off of that. You just can't. But I'll take it. Yeah, I know. Dom, what's up, Big Al? What's up, man? I was pissed until the end. Well, I think you and everybody else, Dom. You and everybody else, brother, because that is, I told you, it was painful. It was a pitcher's duel. So if you're a baseball purist like me, you'll take a pitcher's duel now and then. But just them well away. Trey Turner looks off balance. JT looks a little nervous at the plate. And not just Trey Turner looks off balance. He looks like he needs a retreat, like a couple days off. And just to get his head right. I mean, there's a guy to give a day off of. I mean, you don't have to. You want to put a Mendoza, then fine. Take Trey Turner out, swing some guys around, whatever you have to do. Let Bryce Harper play first again. Let Kyle DH. Let Bryce Harper play first 2 days in a row. I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything, and I don't want to hurt the guy. If it's not medically sound, I understand, but put him in there 2 days in a row. You think they have off tomorrow, or not tomorrow, the day on Thursday, before they head out to Pittsburgh. So why not? If he can do it physically, he feels okay, do it. Let him do it 2 days in a row. Keep Kyle in the DH and give Trey the day off and let Jake Cave or move things around, whatever you have to do. Amendo Sosa, whatever. But I just want to give him 2 days off. Just give him 2 days off. The guy, don't even let him come in the stadium. Let him go and blow off some steam. I don't know however he has to do it, but he just needs to get his head right. I mean, that's it. Gar, yeah, it's a great win. I mean, any win's a great win, but this kind of win, especially when you've been down a lot, losing series, losing games, losing to teams that are on paper lesser than us. Let's be honest, call it for what it is. That burns even more. So when you could play the best team in baseball, bounce back from the night before where that was a close game, but you just couldn't get over that hump, and win and have a chance to take a series from the best team in baseball, because we did that already earlier against the Rays and they've been kind of trailing off. So maybe we're that magic touch, because I kind of said this. I said, watch them do well against the good teams and flounder against the bad teams. The Phillies have done that for years. 40 years old, man. I've seen it 1,000 times. It happens. Steve's back in here. Rojas is by far away the best defensive outfielder. Oh, my God. Yeah, he's really good. And again, the poise at the plate, the poise in the field. This guy looks like he's been doing it for years. Like, he's just one of those guys who just doesn't – I don't care if it's a Little League game or Major League World Series Game 7. He's out there like it's nothing. That's – you got to love about the kid. You got to love about the kid. He just – I really hope his bat, he sits for a week and he still comes in and produces, which we'll talk about in a moment. That's huge. That's big. So let's see how he does. Garrett's saying move Turner down and move Stott up. He is on fire. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that, but they said they're not moving Kyle Schwarber out of the spot. Maybe he'll move Turner down and let him get some pitches, get in that 5-6 spot. Let him see some pitches behind guys. I don't know. I don't know. I would like that. Why not? But it's also left, right, stuff like that. That um uh he Tomper doesn't want to. He won't do that. He won't want to break up. That's another reason he hasn't moved, um, flip flopped any spots with Schwarber or anything. At least that's what he says. I hope Alvarado isn't a month away. TJ and isn't from TJ and isn't periodic soreness. He's never had TJ, right? Tommy John Alvarado. I don't think so. I mean, I know he was. Hold on. Now you're making me think. Tommy John. I don't think he did. I don't think. Not sure. Um, no, I don't see anything about that. I'm hoping he's not either because that'd be a huge loss. And I wonder because he hasn't thrown from the mound yet. He's been throwing, but not from the mound. They're starting tomorrow, throwing him from the mound. I wonder if this will change something because the trajectory for the trade deadline has not much been talked about. The bullpen, it's been starting pitchers and outfielders for the most part, right? If Alvarado's down and might be out, there is, a chance that could be a way they go. We'll see. Let's see. Unfortunately, the Braves are the best team in baseball right now. Yeah, they are. They just gotta keep playing the games. Listen. You can catch up. You can play catch up. You don't have to sprint after them. Don't stare at the thing. Because right now, and we're gonna get to this in a moment too. The Braves right now are 4-6 in their last 10, so they're losing too. That's what I'm saying. If we won a couple more games in the last, how many games we lost, we're less than we're single digits away from them, and we're high up, if not the first place in the wild card standing. So we'll talk about that in a moment. Rest the top six should take note. Harper and the Daycare, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Elaine, welcome back tonight. Absolutely, yeah, they should be looking at themselves. Trey Turner should be thanking them out. Should be thanking them for bailing them out. Schwarber should be thanking them for bailing them out, keeping this team alive. Another loss, another series loss in a row. Whew, that's not good. That's not good. And you're going out against a Pirates team who's not that good, who was started off pretty hot, but has fallen off since. Would love, and the Phillies tend to struggle in Pittsburgh. It's factual. It's the numbers are out there. So, this is what I'm saying. That's why you have to win where you can win. Walker struggled tonight, but held on and got stronger. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, Gary. It's not that he just held on and kept things cool and, when he could have really made a giant deficit. He got stronger. Like he learned from that. He built on that, the energy from that. I don't know how you want to put it, but he really reached down deep and went with it, man. I agree with it. Astute observation, Garrett, because that is truthful. Like he worked off that. He built off that, and he moved, and he started mowing guys down. So yeah, absolutely. Real quick, I want to get into let's do this. I want to remind you guys that this show is brought to you by David R. Cherry Esquire, the Cherry Firm. Worker, you get hurt at work, get hurt in a car accident, personal injury, criminal law, go to cherryinjurylaw.com or simply call David 610-565-0300. The number again is 610-565-0300. Dave Cherry will fight for your rights. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com or call 610-565-0300 and tell Dave that Edge of Philly Sports sent you. All right, so real quick, I want to go through the lineup here and what they did or didn't do. Let's the top of the lineup. Schwarber 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Turner 0 for 4 and a strikeout. Harper 2 for 4, 2 runs, an RBI. Amazing night for him. Castellanos was 0 for 4 again and a strikeout. His ERA is dipping. I mean, 280. I'm not going to complain about, but he was over 300 just like 10 days ago, if that or less. I don't even know if it was that long ago. So that tells you a little something. Bryson Stott, 1 for 4 with a run, but a big run, a big RBI, the tying game RBI. He's batting 300, came up clutch. JT Remuto with one, he was 1 for 4 though with 3 strikeouts. Alec Boehm, big night, 2 for 4, 1 run, 1 RBI. Brandon Marsh, 1 for 3, 2 strikeouts, and Rojas was 1 for 3 and a ribby. So, 9 strikeouts tonight. It's another reason these games are too close. These crooked numbers aren't going out. Untimely, not any strikeouts timely, but just big moments. Guys are striking out. They really need to get on that, but it's something they got to work on. It's really something they got to work on. And like I said, I talked about Taijuan Walker, but the bullpen, did their job for the most part. Strom came in, relieved him with 1 2/3, 2 hits, let up 1 run with that home run. He walked 1 guy, 2 strikeouts. Junior Marte, he went 1 2/3 inning, let up 1 walk and 1 strikeout, kept this game in reason and allowed this to happen. Because I know some people get on Junior Marte, but so let's talk about this. So I know it's still July, it's late July, so it's okay to scoreboard check and all that stuff. So let's get into the wild card, and I will share my screen with you guys here, so you guys can see what's going on, and I can break down what we're talking about. All righty, let me give you a little bit more space here. There we go. So, your division leaders remain Atlanta, the Dodgers, and Milwaukee. But I look up here. Last 10 games, they were 4-6. This is why this hurts a little bit that they're not winning when they are. Because if we were winning and if we were flipping that around, if we were 6-4 or 7-3, we're not that far behind them at that point. I mean, we're still a little ways away. Don't get me wrong, but we're definitely closed a bit of the gap. But look at this. Take a hard look at this. So there's 4 people in the wild card spots when there's only 3. You're like, why is that? Well, 3 of these teams have the same exact record. Us, Arizona, and San Fran are all 54-47. Arizona is 2-8. They're on a 5-game losing streak tonight. San Francisco is 4-6, and they're on a 6-game losing streak. This is what I'm saying. If it wasn't for these losing streaks that these guys were on, we'd be running away. Miami, they're 1-9 in their last 10. 1-9. They won their first one last night. So these are all things that we got to take heed to. We are very lucky in some ways. Let's see. Here we go. Steve, this is the time of the year where bad teams take advantage. 91 Phils, 2017 Phils, big win streaks during dog days. It's that tough time to get up for games. Gary, hopefully we can win the series tomorrow. Yeah, that big need. Big D. It would be a huge win in that series tonight, no matter who wins, who loses tomorrow. This team needs a series win. It needs that jolt, that energy. They need it. I need it. You need it. Phillies Nation needs it. We all need it. Like it's something. But for the standings, we definitely need it. W's are the only thing they're going to get you in. Moral victories do not get you into the moral victory series. Okay, we don't care about moral victory. We need W's. So look at this. We are a half a game out of first place in the wild card and tied 3-way tie. Okay. Miami's only a half a game. So between Miami, San Fran, the Phillies, Arizona, and Cincinnati, we're talking about a half a game swing. Right. Half a game swing can make a world of a difference. And this is why these are important times. Like we are struggling, but thank God we're not Giants fans or Diamondbacks fans, because they're struggling. I mean, any of these teams, except for the Dodgers and Milwaukee, I'm trying to see. We're at 500. No team is in the last 10 games above 500. That's in the wild card discussion. True facts. I mean, the Cubs, and that's the other thing. Trade deadline's looming. It's a week away. Look at this here. We're talking about trading for like Bellinger, Cubs. Blake Snell, or people are thinking, even crazier thoughts with San Diego. They're 6 games out, 5 games out. If these teams continue to lose and these guys continue to win, they may not want to trade. They may want to run this out, especially a team like San Diego. It depends on they have to choose a path because they have a high payroll. Mets, high payroll. They got to unload some of these guys maybe. Look at St. Louis is 7-3 in their last 10, 9 games out of it. So um, it's just you have to strike. Like Steve said earlier, you got to strike. You got to win. Get on these win streaks. Cass's awesome catch today. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, I wish I could play it. Trying to work with the MLB to get so I can play some videos for you guys, so we can break down those videos. But yeah, copyrights and all that stuff. But I wish I could show you that catch because it was amazing. I would love to break it down with you. But this is the wild card standings. So this has something to do with it. So let's move into let's move into the around the league. Let's go around the league and see the scores, the out of town scores right now here in Major League Baseball. So today, the Angels beat the Tigers 7-6. Marlins lost again to the today. The Rays are to the Rays this time 4-1. The Mets beat the Yankees 9-3 earlier. Looks like the Rockies and Nationals are in a delayed. I guess there's I guess some of that nasty weather we had in Philadelphia today has traveled down to Washington. And the Braves are losing. It's always good to hear. 4-1, bottom of the fifth to the Red Sox. So hopefully that stays. The Guardians are up 5-1 on the Royals. The Mariners, they won 5-1 on the over the Royals. The Mariners are up 9-7 on the Twins in the bottom of the ninth. The Rangers lost today to the Houston Astros 4-3. The Reds and Brewers, there's implications either way, and that's big for their division. But top of the eighth, the Reds are up 2-0 on the Brewers. The Cubs are up 7-3 on the White Sox. There's another team right behind us trying to make some leeway. And they're at the end of they're just end of the eighth, so they're going into the ninth. The Padres are up 2-1 on the Pirates in the bottom of the fourth. Cardinals and Diamondbacks, another big one to watch. Big Cardinals fans right now, guys. We want to see the Cardinals win. Knock those Diamondbacks down. They're up 1-0 over the Diamondbacks. Another game to watch. It is at the end of the fourth, so they're going into the fifth. Athletics and Giants are 0-0. You want to be A's fans as well tonight, guys. So if you're going to stay up and watch a little late night baseball, you got two good games that have some implications for us. So hopefully the A's will pull out and the Cardinals will pull out. And that can really move us up in the standings pretty quickly, even though we have been struggling. And the Dodgers are tied with the Blue Jays 1-1 in the bottom second in LA. And that is your out-of-town scoreboard. And the Phillies will take on the Orioles again tomorrow at 6:05. It's right there for you. But that is about it for your out-of-town scoreboard. Right now, we are 12 games out of first place. In second place, we're a percentage point more. We're a 530 winning percentage, and the Marlins are a 529. So very close tonight, and we have to keep it. We have to start putting that distance now, because then there's going to be no leeway. There's no room for error. So we really got to hope we have to work on that. All I ever ask for from any good Philly team is that they go 500 against the good and elite and take care of business against. But that's what you have to do, especially nowadays with a third wild card. You have to be able to contend against the good teams and your divisional teams, and the other teams, the mediocre teams are worse. Yeah, you got to beat them. So, yeah, you're absolutely right, Steve. That's how winning is done, especially this day and age. Guys, that is going to about do it. But I want to remind you that if you're not going to be traveling, if you're not going to be getting tickets to go down to the stadium yourself, go pull up a stool at Dolan's Bar, dolansbar.com, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Tell PJ that EOP sent you Quizzo music, great times, memorabilia, you name it, you got it. Some ex-athletes popping in and out of there all the time. Sat and had a beer with many former Phillies, Eagles, you name it, former Flyers. They're in there. They come in there all the time. You never know. Actually, I was just looking at my Jason Kelce signed card that I got from there. So just from being in there hanging out. So you never know what's going to happen at the most Delco bar, Dolan's Bar. So check it out. 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park. So if you're like, hey, I'm not from Delco, why would I want to go? Well, if you're in Philly, it's just right south the airport. If you're coming from Delaware, it's right before you hit the airport. So, and it's right off 95 of the Ridley Park exit. Get there. I know I'll be there a lot. I'm there a lot. I love that place. I don't understand. We have the best hitting coach and top line is struggling. Well, Okay, let's talk about that for a moment. I know I said I was going to get done, but I guess you brought it up, Gary. You brought it out of me, so I'm going to bring it back to you. I can't. I know at one point we talked about this earlier when they struggled, right before they went into June, and then when it kind of dropped off a little bit at the end of June, early July, and picked it back up. You can only blame the hitting coach so much. I mean, if it's one or two guys, but it's your big hitters, they're all kind of slumping. But if you're going to blame, you know I know you're not blaming, but if you're gonna, poke at him there, but do you not give him credit for Brandon Marsh? You don't give him credit for Alec Boehm and Bryson Stott, because those are the guys who need the more tutelage. Did I say tutelage? Than the other guys, in my eyes, right? Am I wrong? So, and they're doing well. So this is a mental thing. These guys are professionals. You can only tell Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos so much. And just work on those things and get it back to where it was. But yeah, it is frustrating, Gar. Absolutely frustrating. All right, guys, that will do it for me tonight. Big win tonight. Big win. The Phillies win it 4-3 over the Orioles, splitting the series at 1. The Phillies now improved to 54-47, second in the NL East, and tied for second and third. I don't know how you would look at it in the wild card. The Orioles dropped to 62-39, but still remain first in the AL East, which is a very good. Listen, you're not just the first in the division, but first in the best division of baseball. That division is just ridiculous. So holding your own there, that's a huge plus. I only judge hitting coaches by how well marginal players do when they come here. Let's see. Gary says that's true about them guys. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's really hard. Like it's hard for me to judge K-Long and go, all right, well, these guys are struggling. Kyle Schwarber's been playing for years, but Bryce Stott and all those guys haven't, and Alec Boehm, and they're thriving. So it's like I get it, but it's frustrating. But this is more on the player than it is on the hitting coach. But it is up to the hitting coach and the analytics department to watch video, to use those special softwares. They've done it. They heard them talk about it with with Trey Turner earlier this season when he was struggling, and then he kind of got out of it for a little bit. He really started streaking in the beginning of June when everybody else was. So, I guess maybe it's contagious. Hopefully, maybe everybody will pick up this win tonight and get a little contagious, cough on each other, and the winds will spread. I don't know. We'll find out. This is one good contagion that you want to deal with. But other than that, guys, I want to remind you that check out EOP. We always got something going on here. Tomorrow night's a busy night. Wednesday night's always a busy night at Philly Sports. Hump Day, covering what happened before the weekend, before this weekend, and coming up to this weekend. And don't forget, Party on Broad at 6, Philly Press Box Radio at 7. I'll be back with Joe and Fred at 8:30 for EOP Live, as well as another Fighting's Final. I believe Matty B is on the call tomorrow. So that is something to look for. I know we haven't seen him for a while. The Matty B will be back Thursday at 8. Actually, there is a schedule change. He'll be on 11 o'clock Thursday. We had to move him back a little bit. But no game for the Phillies. Friday, Steel Steps, and there's Fighting's Final Saturday and Sunday. And then Patterson Avenue and PM and AM and all across all the time. If you're like, hey, I missed some of these live shows, don't worry. We podcast them wherever you can get your podcasts. Or go to EOPsports.com. You'll love EOPsports.com. There is so much for everybody there. Great articles, too. Some of the guys are really pumping out articles with me. I wrote a couple about the Phillies trade deadline. I'm probably going to write another one before the deadline. I have a couple ideas that I liked, I think are reasonable. But we'll find out. So that is, check EOPsports.com. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. There's always something coming on. Everybody's doing a great job. Some new stuff coming out down the pipeline. We're making some great changes, bringing on some great guys, some great talent here to EOP. So check it out, guys. Maybe the booze will help. I don't know when booing ever helped anybody, but maybe it'll make him get angry and hulk out on that ball. Let's see. Maybe you're right. Great talking to you. Garrett, always great talking to you. All you other guys, thank you for joining in. Matty B will be back, or Matty will be here tomorrow night. Check me out at 8:30 live. If you want to talk during the game, because I'll be on during the game. Unfortunately, with Phillies games, I can't always be on afterwards. But Joe and Fred and I will be there so we can answer questions, talk about. We'll talk more than just Phillies. We'll talk 4 for 4. We'll talk it all. Sixers, Flyers. Not too much Flyers that might going on in the Flyers world, but I'm sure we'll touch on it. Eagles training camp starting, of course, and all that and so much more. I know Tom Moore from the Bucks County Courier will be on with Philly Press Box Radio and all those things. Let's see. Joe Winters. It's not unheard of for big name players like Trey Turner to slump in their first year of their contract. Can understand the booze, but hope the trade pulls out of it. Listen, absolutely correct, Joe. That's a good way of looking at it. I mean, like I said, we always talk about Nick Castellanos, and there's always that kind of like sophomore slump, or not sophomore slump, I guess, freshman slump in this case for a lot of guys. So you have to get yourself in a new city, get yourself situated in a new team, all that stuff. There's a lot of a mental game to it. I know, $300 million. Yeah, I get it. I really do get it. But there is a big human factor to this. Sometimes you have them here to boost so they don't get comfortable. But I think Trey Turner goes home and looks in the mirror and boos himself. He's upset with him. That's the kind of player he is, and that's why I like him, and I'm still going to support him. He just needs to be better. It needs to happen no matter how he has to do it. So other than that, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. I'm Big Al. I'll be tomorrow night at 8:30 if you want to join and talk to me and Fred, and a lot of stone breaking during that show. Trust me. So I'll check you guys later. Thank you for joining in. See you later. Check out EOPsports.com and all our social media.